Hello, friends and listeners. Welcome back to another episode of Party XP. I am your host, Lakan, and I'm joined once again by my friend here, Jeff. Say hi, Jeff.
Hi, Jeff.
We recorded 3 episodes in a row, right? I'm actually pretty stoked about that I got to bang out a bunch of content in like one shot, right? To actually have like 3 weeks straight of us making, stuff for the podcast.
Yeah, it's almost like this is our real job.
Right?
It was fun.
Yeah, it was fun. And, again, kept me busy and it was kind of nice to do. And then, but then it's funny because we do that, we don't have time to actually like interact like regular human beings.
Right. Everything's focused on what we're doing here.
Yeah, like, a couple weeks ago, before that little kind of like marathon bit of like recording and editing we were doing, we got to meet up for a while, right? We got to hang out and go check out some video game stores near your area, right?
Yeah. You guys were up here in North Jersey. That was a lot of fun to be able to go around and just hang out together, even if it wasn't really anything fruitful on my end. It was just fun to be together and go out. So that was fun.
Yeah, it had been a minute since we've actually like hung out. So like that day was rough for me because I had worked the night before into the day, and my friends wanted to go to Mitsuwa. And I was like, I am really tired, but if you guys never have been and you guys want to go, then yeah, sure, like I'll go. Like, that's fine. And
For those of you not located in northern New Jersey, Mitsuwa is a Asian style, what would you call it, like a supermarket kind of?
Yeah, so they have I think a couple on the West Coast as well, like in California,
Okay.
but like it's a giant Japanese supermarket basically. And the one in North Jersey is attached to like a Daiso, which is like a Japanese like dollar store type of deal.
Right.
And like, there's a manga and a stationery store there.
I was gonna say,
like
yeah,
a
the
toy
Japanese
store as well there
bookstore is
too,
right there.
which is great if you're into, anime and manga and weeb stuff basically. I hadn't been there in a
And
while either too. What was that?
And they have very, very nice writing pads.
Oh, they do. Yeah, I really like the stationery there. I always go every once in a while. I'll go like just buy like a notepad, just because the paper is nice and thick. I can if I was into calligraphy, I'd definitely use that stuff.
Yeah, for sure. It's definitely helpful to have. I like legal pads. That's usually what I use to write for work and stuff. So I remember a while back I bought one and it was great.
I used to
And
buy a
I've
really
been
nice. Oh god.
no, I was saying I've been meaning to go back to get one.
Yeah, yeah. Again, if you're ever going, just let me know. Pick me up. I'll roll with you.
Right, for sure.
I buy pens from there. They have like really nice like what's the regular pen nib that we have, like 0.5, right? Or 0.7?
I would imagine something
Yeah,
around there. I'm not the pen expert.
So they have like super fine tip pens, like 0.3, I think it is. And it feels weird because it feels kind of scratchy at first because it's so sharp, right? But like the this is, I'm sure, just an absolutely enthralling conversation we're having talking about pen nibs. But it's just a super fine thin tip, and I really, really like it because my handwriting's terrible. But like because how fine it is, it like, again, it makes just the writing so much thinner. So it's actually much more legible, on my end. And because I realize it's a really nice pen, I tend to slow down a little bit and write nicer with it. You know what I mean?
Oh no, I know what you mean. I like those too. I don't know where mine went, but I used to have a nice pen like that on my desk, and now all I have are my, pack of 12
Yeah,
generic
just
ass
Bic.
pens here.
Yeah, the Bic or just up and up Target pens or whatever.
Not even. I don't even get Bic. I get Caliber.
Caliber. What the hell?
Shout outs to Caliber.
I don't even know what that is.
Sponsor the pod.
Is it any good?
Yeah, I mean they finally get the job done.
They sponsor the pod. Of course they're good. Yes.
Right, of course.
And it's funny, yeah, it's because now as an adult we only write with pens, right? But I hated writing with pens. I prefer writing with pencil, and I still do to this day. Something about the friction of it on paper just changes for me.
And it's not the finality of it, I think, too, is the big thing. You can erase pencil.
Yeah, I'm not good with committing to pen because of it. Speaking of committing, have you ever heard of a man of focus, commitment, and sheer fucking will?
Rocky?
Well, he's also one of them. Yes, he is also. I guess this covers a much wider umbrella of people than I thought it was initially going to.
Yes.
But clearly perfect segue into our topic for this episode is the man of focus, commitment, and sheer fucking will, John Wick.
Oh, I've been meaning to watch these videos, these movies. This is exciting.
And I was genuinely upset when I found out you hadn't watched this yet.
Look, man, you get busy, you get into a relationship, you get married. Sometimes it's harder to watch cheesy action movies.
Cheesy action? You will not slander this
all
movie.
All right. My bad.
Okay.
Just action movies. I'm just used to always watching cheesy action movies, so everything gets lumped into there, whether it's a $2 common card or a $50 super rare. You know what I mean?
A super rare misprint. Yeah, exactly.
Right. So Universal Soldier and Demolition Man get thrown in with John Wick. So sorry.
Wow. Okay. So as I said before, this episode is focused on the movie John Wick, a movie released in 2014, followed by 2 sequels: John Wick Chapter 2 and John Wick Chapter 3: Parabellum. So this movie came out in 2014. 2 was in 2017. Parabellum is in 2019, and there's 2 more movies for sure coming out, and there's a possible 2 spin-offs apparently coming out as well too.
Oh crap.
Yeah, this movie is amazing. I love this movie. So this was created by screenwriter Derek Kolstad, directed by Chad Stahelski and David Leitch. Leitch, Leitch. I'm pretty sure that's how his name is pronounced. But only Stahelski is credited. I don't exactly know why. And stars Keanu Reeves. Do you like Keanu Reeves?
I have no qualms with Keanu Reeves. I liked The Matrix. Actually, it's funny. One of my preeminent Matrix memories, it has nothing to do with the movies. It was the games on the original Xbox
and the PS2 as well too.
Well, I was out in Chicago visiting family, and we had some family friends that moved out there too, and he had the original Xbox. And
gotcha.
It was the first time I had played the original Xbox. After being offered one for free and not wanting to be rude and declining it so that the family could get the money back.
Yeah. Look at you being.
And I was like,
kid.
Yeah, right. And I played the Xbox for a weekend, and I was like, the hell was I doing? This thing's fucking awesome. And one of the games he had was the Matrix game that heavily features, of course, a polygonal Keanu Reeves. And so I always thought he was a cool guy. I mean, he's a nice enough person. I don't know too much about him. I'm not in like the cult of Keanu, but I have nothing against him. I think he's a nice enough guy.
Yeah, it's weird because we can go into just a little bit more probably in the second half of this episode about like Keanu Reeves' history and stuff. But I've liked Keanu Reeves since I was a kid. In terms of like Speed, the Matrix movies, right? I grew up with those.
Bill and Ted,
of course. Even like the what's it called? The Lake House, I think it was.
Right.
With was that who was he acting across from in that movie?
Couldn't tell you.
Sandra
the
Bullock?
only one I remember is Point Break because
Point Break, yeah.
one of the shows I frequently listen to always brings up Point Break, and you want to talk about a cheesy action movie.
Yeah, that's definitely up there. For again, it was just like a lot of cheesy action. I don't know about cheesy, but I still love them. Like like in that early '90s, action movie like aesthetic. I don't know what it is, but yeah. I love those movies.
You can love cheesy movies. It's perfectly fine. We all do.
Yeah, but either way, this movie's not a cheesy movie. Damn it. Okay. So this is a neon. This is a neo noir action thriller franchise and is currently owned by Lionsgate. The line I mentioned before to lead into this whole thing was man of focus, commitment, and sheer will. It's basically everything that I'm not. That is exactly what John Wick is. In like a quick spoiler-free single-line plot summary is John Wick is a former hitman who was forced back into the criminal underworld that he had abandoned. That's the most plot, non-spoiler plot summary I can give here. Either way, it's a fun ride. It's a fun watch movie, and I'm hoping you enjoy it.
I have no doubts that this movie that has like 90s all over Metacritic, that is just balls to the wall action and violence. I have no doubts that this is going to be something that's right up my alley.
Oh, it's a great watch. It's another cool thing about this movie is again because I believe Stahelski and Leitch I think were like stuntmen before, and then they ended up becoming directors for this movie, which is why this movie is so heavily like action focused.
I did hear that. That was a thing, that the guys were stuntmen before. So that's why it has like a certain look to it. That's exciting.
Yeah, very stylish, very cool. And last little thing here, I guess, before we go ahead and wrap up and go get on to watching this movie. This movie is the budget was somewhere between 20 to 30 million, and then ended up grossing 86 million worldwide box office, which is not bad. Not bad at all. I'm surprised it's actually so low when I looked this up. I mean, I'm sure that was probably I don't know how long they do for the time for the worldwide box office, but yeah, that's pretty solid. You know, like 20 30 mil to 86 mil. That's pretty good.
For
Um,
being a new IP at the time, yeah,
yeah,
absolutely.
yeah, and I think I remember, like, I'm trying to think back to 2014 of when this came out, and I remember there was like a little bit of hype around it, but like I didn't hear everybody talking about it until it came out. And then everyone was like, "You gotta watch this movie. You gotta watch this movie. You gotta watch." And I watched it like 2 weeks later, like when it was out in theaters, and I was like, "Yeah, this is amazing." I have no again, I wasn't really up on the release, or the lead up to this movie. So when I heard about it, and I think that's from my understanding, like a lot of why people like fell into this movie is like just word of mouth, which is awesome because I do remember a little bit of marketing for it, but for some reason it just wasn't pulling me in initially until like I had friends who were like, "You have to watch this movie." So yeah, I did, and I loved it ever since. And I've been following this entire series now ever since that first watch. Basically, I even have the comic, and I even bought the game, which was not great. But
Oh,
yeah, the game's fine. It's like a 6 out of 10. But the comic's pretty cool. Very stylized as well too. Have you heard anything about this movie other than you said you'd probably enjoy it?
no, yeah, I mean, I've heard about it. A lot of the movie podcasts that I've consumed discuss it and hold it in high regard. The only thing I wanted to add was that if you, the listeners out there, want to join us, all three John Wick movies are available to stream on Tubi.
Yes, yes, they are very, very easily accessible. Not even actually an issue. Like we we kind of take that into consideration when we think about movies we want to talk about here,
Yes.
or a series in general, and how hard it is to watch it. If it's readily available to anybody, if you can rent it or just watch it anywhere for free through a streaming service, that's kind of like makes it easier for us and for you, the listener, as well too. But yeah, I think that's all for this little pitch here. We're gonna go ahead and take a short break here, and by the time we have come back from that break, Jeff will have watched John Wick, and we will discuss. Okay, listeners, and we are back. Jeff, what do you think of John Wick?
I thought it was awesome. I thought it was so cool.
Yeah.
I will tell you, and I will give you a little bit of pushback, but I will admit that I was wrong-ish, right?
Okay.
So this movie rode that fine line between great movie, like awesome action film,
Yes.
and cheesy 80s action movie, like a fine line.
Oh,
It was
yeah.
on there.
Yeah,
it
well,
was on there.
That's the they've mentioned that like that a bit of their style has been like they wanted to reference like even like Point Break a little bit, a little bit self-referential, right? And
Right.
like the Lethal Weapons a little bit, right? Like just these kind of like over the top action movies, John Woo stuff, obviously. Just the over dramatized combat, and especially the movie like this, which is focused almost solely on combat, right? This is like they really, really did a good job riding that line of making it super overly campy, like, but also being hyper realistic, right?
Right.
John counts rounds. Occasionally he
Yes.
forgets and like he has to reload in the middle of a thing and go back to fighting, right?
I did appreciate that. The one thing I will say is you forget that this movie basically wants to be a cheesy 80s action movie until everybody opens their mouth. Because the
Yes.
cinematography is very, very contemporary, very well shot. The soundtrack is great. The fight scenes are beautiful and perfectly choreographed. And then everybody opens their mouths and you're like, oh, okay, it wants to be a cheesy 80s action movie, but everything else in the movie prevents it from doing so because it's all done so well.
Yeah, very overly dramatic in terms of like dialogue and stuff like that, which honestly I love it because of the fact. Like,
I did too. Please don't
yeah.
get it. Please don't misunderstand. Like I loved the whole scene in the beginning where it's like Vigo is Mr. Exposition, and he talks about all
The
the stuff from John Wick's past. Oh, he's the Baba Yaga.
Baba
He's the
Yaga.
greatest hit maker, or the greatest hitman of all time. He's cunning, killer, motivated, driven. He's the best ever. He's he's 4-time heavyweight champion or whatever. I mean, you get the drift.
Yeah, he's basically
But so
basically like the Chuck Norris joke of like this universe, basically.
yes, exactly. And so I did appreciate that, and I chuckled at that. I was like, Jesus Christ, all right, get on with it. And then the movie gets on with it, and it's like an hour and a half of just awesome.
Yeah, that's a lot of people don't realize, like, especially because the movie moves at like such a breakneck speed too, right?
Oh yeah,
The movie's
you
an
don't
hour and a half
realize
of
you're
just
sitting there.
basically pure action. Like it's it's fantastic.
You don't realize you're sitting there for an hour, and I do appreciate that it's basically one of the best in the genre of bad things happening to bad people.
Oh yeah,
So I did appreciate that, and that I think kind of plays into it because you're just waiting and waiting and waiting for the bad things to happen to Yosef, to Vigo, to all the other, killers, Miss Perkins, all these people. You're just kind of waiting for it to happen, and it kind of adds to the speed of everything because it's like, all right, here it comes. Here comes this. You've been waiting for this thing to happen. I gotta tell you, I mean, it fits the character, but for Wick to just pop the sun in the head and keep moving was like
perfect, right?
wow, okay,
Just amazing.
yeah,
I love it. I loved it so
damn,
much.
like you didn't ham it up like the dad, and that's one of the things, and we'll get into it because I think we're gonna do the synopsis,
Yeah,
right?
we're gonna do.
Of the
I'm
film
gonna
here.
do. I'm gonna do like a relatively not like super in depth, but like enough of the important stuff, right?
Right,
Okay,
right.
so, listener, here, spoiler warning. It's also like it's John Wick. Just go. It's 2014. Go on, watch it. It's a great movie.
Yeah, like we mentioned last time, this is on Tubi. If you're listening to this in 2022 and hopefully early 2023, John Wick's on Tubi. You can watch
Free.
it whenever you want for free with ads. If you watch it on your computer with an ad blocker, there are no ads.
Free.
Just saying.
Free.
Free.
Go watch
It's
John
great.
Wick. Go watch John Wick.
Yeah.
Okay.
All three of them are at this
Yeah,
point.
they're
So.
all they're all fantastic. I love all of them.
Mhm.
Okay, so short summary here. Cold open. John's essentially dying in the first scene we see him. Right, he's just lying there in the gutter, bleeding. Right, holding his guts, watching the video on the phone. Right, of him and his wife. And then we immediately cut back to a montage of his daily life. Note we see two of everything: coffee cups, two sinks, his wife Helen's stuff strewn around. His wife is Bridget Moynihan, by the way. Then we see a quick montage of his wife passing. Willem Dafoe is something of an assassin himself in this movie. He shows up at the funeral offering his condolences and checking
You're
in.
not shit.
You're
You're not shit, motherfucker.
I had to do it. John receives a letter and a puppy from his late wife for him to remember her by. And holy fuck, I love this puppy. The puppy is so cute. I love the puppy.
Beagles are great.
Yeah, I love Beagle. Oh, they're so cute. Okay. He names the puppy Daisy.
Yes.
Which was also a funny thing. You see daisies in the hospital room as well in the background, and on the jewelry that he gets from her on the bracelet thingy. Was it a bracelet? Necklace? Whatever. The little
I believe it was a necklace.
jewelry
Yeah.
chain. Yeah, there's daisy charms on there as well too. So he goes fond of the puppy and goes driving around in his sick ass 1969 Ford Mustang Mach 1, just doing sick drifts and shit. Fuck yeah. And then he runs into a group of Russian gangsters who later offers to buy the car. And John Reese refuses and doesn't give in to Yosef, played by Alfie Allen, his intimidation tactics. Later that night, they break into John's home, surprise attack him, kill Daisy, fuck these dudes, steal the car, fuck these dudes.
Yeah.
And then and like partially joking here, but like this is the quickest I've ever been like onboarded onto the protagonist's side. Like you know, you know what I mean? It's like immediate. Like it's funny. I can watch a million people die, and then but kill one animal. Fuck this person. Yeah. I don't know what it is if society's ruined me or like modern sensibilities have been destroyed at this point. But yeah, like it is like so quick to just get this to get the viewer onto the side of John Wick, basically. When Yosef brings the car to a shop, Aurelio, played by John Leguizamo. Let's go, John Leguizamo.
Yeah, that was a nice cameo. I was like, oh, he's doing well.
Yeah, John Leguizamo. I love him in this part. Honestly, like he's kind of quick talking. He shows like reverence to who he's working for. Right, he works for Vigo, and he also like acquaintances with John Wick. So you see later on, like he like offers him a drink when he comes in, like please don't kill me. Here you go. You know, kind of deal, right? Once he realizes that's John Wick's car and confirms it essentially from Yosef, basically confirms it from Yosef, he hits him and tells him to get the fuck out. Vigo, Michael Nyqvist, played by Michael Nyqvist. Yosef's father contacts Aurelia, why it happened, and it's funny. We get this scene, the exchange, right? He's like, "Well, he stole John Wick's car and killed his dog," and then all we get from Vigo is this, "Oh,
God damn it!"
He's just like this very concerned, like, "Oh, okay," just like you can see it in his face, and you can just again, this is where the world building kind of starts, right?
Yeah.
You just start seeing like the bad guys are scared of this man. You start they start becoming hesitant of everything around him, and Mayhem shows up.
Cassidy from SVU shows up,
Mayhem,
and I was like, oh, good for him too.
He's Dean Winters, and his name in this movie is Avi. Too bad I'm calling him Mayhem the entire time. And they have a very fun bit that I appreciate that goes throughout this movie. He's Vigo's right hand man. And basically, this is the speech where Vigo goes off, and this is the speech you always hear people who reference John Wick. And, I said a bit of it earlier on in the first half of this recording, where John Wick is the Baba Yaga. He's not the boogeyman, but the one you send when you want to kill the boogeyman. John is a man of focus, commitment, and sheer will. And he's saying this to his son, who who also tells none of those things he has. Like, Yosef has none of these things. He once killed 3 men in a bar with a pencil. And then,
it's like, all right, buddy, come on.
I love the schmutz of this whole scene. Like, it's just like, yeah, tell me how bad John Wick is so that I can confirm it with my own eyes later. And again, it just builds this world of, like, how, like, terrifying and how capable he is as a hitman, basically. And we see, like, during this speech, we see John, like, literally tearing apart the foundation of his house with a sledgehammer. Like, basically tearing apart the foundation of his new life and basically going back to his old life because of it, which is, like, a nice little thing that they did there. He calls John to try to smooth things over. John just hangs up in the middle of him talking. And you can just kind of just tell the look on Vigo's face, like, shit,
damn it, man.
I'm like, things are gonna go badly. So I'll take a little pause here real quick. Just the fear and respect conveyed by people when they interact with John is, like, amazing. I love that. I love that stuff. Like, there's, like, dread. You know what I mean? Again, he's literally the boogeyman to these people who are, like, who everyday regular people are scared of. These people are gangsters, like organized crime gangsters. Everyone else is scared of these guys. These guys are scared of John Wick.
Right. And I do appreciate that. And I also appreciate, again, him just reaming into his son, because I feel like we've all seen a movie like that where you have, like, the dipshit kid with the successful father.
Yeah.
And the father can't really, just based on, because you're watching let's say, like, a TV PG or a PG-13 film, they want to go in on their children like this, but they can't. So to have Vigo be able to go in on his son because it's an R-rated film is just so funny. Honestly, it's one of the funniest parts of this very serious, depressing start to an action movie. And it's, like you said, it sets the tone, and it sets a great tone, because you're basically getting a sneak peek at what you're going to watch for the next hour and a half.
and like, even like just the first interaction with his son, right? Like, his son's like real cocky. He's like, yeah, the guys don't want, we don't got to worry about them anymore, right? And he goes, oh, cool. So he gets him a glass, and it looks like he's toasting with him, right? And as soon as his son drinks, I think it's like a vodka, right? His son drinks the vodka. He hits him from to throw it back up, and I think that's intentional. He wants him to hurt twice. Yeah. And I was just like, oh, he's like, oh, he's just hitting him out, clean it up. And it's like, okay, well, there you go. And yeah, he's just really going in on Yosef, basically. Again, he's like saying, like, everything that John Wick is, you're not. You were, like, basically a wannabe piece of shit, gangster. Like, you're a wannabe.
Correct.
And because, like, Vigo is like, he's like, no, like, he did this thing that was supposed to be impossible. The impossible task. That's how he gets out of the criminal underworld to go live a life with Helen. And somehow, and a thing that's supposed to be impossible, John Wick did. Like, this man's not to be trifled with. And so basically he's, like, kind of pleading essentially for, his son's life, trying to smooth things over. And again, unfortunately, he just like knows like, ah, shit, we were officially on
Yeah.
John's bad side. Oh God, I love this
Did
movie.
John and Vigo work together, right? That was like what was
Yeah,
hinted
so
at?
basically, like, yeah, like John was a hitman for hire, right? He's a mercenary within the criminal underworld, right?
Okay.
But he also was the one. Vigo tasked him with the impossible task,
Right, right.
so that he could leave. He could basically go be a regular person.
Go home and be a family man.
Yeah, exactly. Go home and be a family man. And again, they initially did it because they didn't expect him to be able to do it. They would either assume he would die, or he would not be able to do it, and he would continue to work for them, basically.
Correct.
But because he did it, they're a man of their word. They allowed him to go try to live a regular life with his wife. And
That's the other thing I appreciated was like the honor among thieves, basically, right? Like this code, this underlying code that you learn about little by little here as the story goes on. I thought that was cool, and and like he said, like they're all professionals. They're all people in this very seedy line of work, but they are all professionals at it, and to have a code is just kind of funny and interesting.
Yeah, we definitely get to see a lot more of it as the movie goes on, and
Yep.
And this is like not really much of a spoiler, but there is more of this, obviously, because the world just expands basically in 2 and 3.
I figured,
and it's like I love this entire movie series. So like, yeah, I'm actually looking forward to the day we finally get around to having you watch the other 2 as well too.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so back to the synopsis here. Round 2 in the John Wick household. John got his ass kicked, got his dog killed, and got his car stolen. Round 2, John suits the fuck up. Movie actually starts now, right? Suits up, murders everyone. We get to see gun kills, brutal knife kills, hand-to-hand combat, jujitsu, judo, snapping necks. Bro, this fight scene fucking rules.
Yeah, this is where I was when you messaged me earlier, and I was like, yo, this is incredible. This is so good. It's so good. It's so good.
It's amazing. I love the fact that we don't get cutaways of John reloading, right? If anything, we focus on it. Like, it helps with the realism, right? We were talking about that before. And the drama between, like, immediate, bright, shiny gunshots going off in the dark. But then we see this moment of, like, tension of, like, does he get the reload off before someone else comes around a corner and shoots at him? It's something that really, really plays into the gunplay of this movie, and I think of why people like it so much as well too, who are like gun enthusiasts, right? I like guns. I like the mechanics behind doing a lot of this stuff physically, and it's like, yeah, it's like, imagine like in the middle of hand-to-hand fight, someone's coming at you with a knife, you stop that and then like drop a magazine, pull a magazine out, reload, space yourself, and then disarm a guy again. Like all this stuff, if anything, like, while mechanically it's cool looking, it really does like up the drama and the tension, especially in a lot of scenes like where it's like very close quarters, and he's like dispatching people. Like, we joke about the cheesy action movies of like the 80s, and like, everyone's carrying so it's like everyone carries machine guns, right? And there's a reason for that. One, you don't have to reload. You just shoot the whole time. It's for the movie, because it's not it's not normal for somebody to walk around with with a saw, with light machine gun, and just fire it. That thing's heavy as shit. But it gets rid of the reloading, which is the downside or the downtime of a gunfight, right? So those action movies were just like, no, just get rid of the reloading. This is how we solve that problem. Here, no, he's fighting with pistols, basically only pistols in the beginning part of this movie, right? Like he has to reload relatively often, and he does it so well too. And honestly,
right, the movie,
the
movie doesn't give you the magic gun, right? That has, it has clearly has like a 9-bullet mag, but the protagonist has fired 16 shots without reloading.
It is literally like, no, these are double stacked magazines. That's why he's able to fire 17, 21 round, whatever the guns are specifically, and he counts every one of them. And very occasionally we see him like fire, the gun clicks, like, shit, I forgot. And you know what I mean? Like, and then you see him drop the magazine, pull the coat back, pull a fresh mag, slap it in, chamber, bam, right? It's so good. Oh God, I love this movie.
It's good.
Yeah, it's great.
Fucking good.
When the cops show up to his home from a noise complaint from the neighbors.
This was funny. This scene was funny.
I love this bit right here. I forgot the cop's name. He's an actor in another show as well too. But one of the cops ask, "Hey John, you working again?" which again just kind of goes to the shows like the world building, right? Like people, the cops know who John is, right? Like
Everybody knows who he
everyone
is.
knows who he is. Like it's like, hey Jimmy, hey John, just kind of goes about their day. He's like just some cleanup, some personal business. Okay, I'll leave you to it. Have a good night, John. Just kind of like walk away.
Well, it's either you do your job and you get killed for it, or you just let things go and you live to fight another day.
Yeah, and again, I find it funny that like all the guns going off is a noise complaint from the neighbors.
Right.
And
Not holy shit. There's a gunfight
there's a
outside
war
in the
going on
house
outside.
next door.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Well, and funny thing is, I think this movie is based in at least the house scenes are based in New Jersey. They're in like northern New
everything's
Jersey.
in Jersey.
And then obviously the rest of the movie takes place in New York. Which I find funny because again, that wouldn't happen here. No, in Jersey, gun goes off. All the cops are showing up very hard.
Unless they know that it's a certain somebody's house and they don't want to get involved.
Exactly. And they're like, "Oh, it's John's house. We can take our time over there. We don't want to."
We're not messing with that.
And then so again, it's a understanding of like long understanding awareness of who he is by people adjacent to his line of work. Again, the cops, right? So cleaners disguised as dinner reservations. I love this as well.
I love that line. That line was so funny.
They come by, clean up his house, and again, it's like, "Hey, John, you look good." Again, it's just like clearly he's very well known, right? That's the whole thing. This is still building up on the story of John Wick, basically, right? The legend of John Wick. Vigo contacts John's mentor, Marcus. I mentioned him before, Willem Dafoe, to kill Wick for a bounty of $2 million. Marcus agrees because it's an open bounty. Or it's it's an open bounty.
Right.
And then John heads to the Continental Hotel for assistance, and the Continental Hotel is a hotel which caters to the criminal underworld and doesn't allow business on Continental premises. And there we meet the concierge of the Continental, my man, Lance Reddick, baby.
Commander Zavala himself.
Love him.
He's so good. He's so good in this.
He's so good. He's so good in this. And again, this isn't a spoiler or anything. Lance Reddick does more and more throughout the movies, and I'm so happy for that. Like I love Lance Reddick. He's in The Wire. He voices so many people that I really, really enjoy. Obviously, Commander Zavala. He voiced not Bruce Wayne, his father in the audio drama on Spotify, which is really good. Yeah, Lance Reddick is just an awesome, fantastic actor, fantastic voice actor.
Yeah, top voice, top flight voice.
I just want to hear. I want him to narrate everything. Again, he's one of those people.
Just read the phone book.
Yeah, he's one of those people as well. Read the phone book. I'm fine by it. Find just a dictionary. Just start reading stuff off. That's cool, bro. I love it. And then Vigo doubles the bounty for anybody willing to break the rules on the Continental premises. Again, just take a short break here again because that's another kind of a nice little pause right here. Again, just the world building, right? Like the cops that know the goings on of the work, of John Wick, the secret society motel or hotel, and then the sort of like exclusive currency that they use, right? The gold coins.
I was going to bring this up.
Thing. It feels like a video game, and I love like how fast they're able to build this world up, kind of deal.
Yeah, the gold coins. So basically, and I looked this up because I was really interested in the gold coins. I was like, what is it, like Russian currency? No, they're untraceable, just gold coins that are basically equal parts merit badge, equal parts credit card that you give to other people in the underworld to get goods and services, right? So you see John hand the coins to the Mr. Fix-It, right? The cleaner guy that comes in to clean up the dead bodies from the break-in. You see it when John Wick goes to pay for the hotel room, right? He slides a gold coin to Lance Reddick. You see it a few more times in this movie. I'm sure you see it a lot more in the other films too. I thought that was so cool. And it's like, oh, yeah, that's a good idea that they would have their own currency because you don't want to have bills, right? You don't want credit cards. You're not Venmoing people for wet works, right?
Yeah.
So I guess it all makes sense.
The greatest tracking line ever of all these criminal activity. Yeah.
Could you imagine just looking at John Wick's Venmo feed and it's just like
millions of dollars.
gun ghost skull emoji.
Thanks for murdering this guy for me in the comments.
Right.
Yeah, like it's a really smart, really quick way to like again just kind of drag you into the world of this story basically, and it's fantastic. I love it. It does make me question though: is the $2 million in coins or is that $2 million in actual money?
I think the bounties are paid in cash. I think transactions for goods and services are done with the coins.
Okay, so maybe yeah, because I've watched all three movies and I feel like I've probably answered this by watching the movies, but then I feel like every time I watch John Wick 1, I always confuse myself. Is there like a monetary value to the coins? You know what I mean? I mean, I'm sure there's technically a monetary value, right? That's how they're paying for stuff. But like,
Right.
I'm
So
like,
from what the
I'm wondering if I'm construing the two when they're not supposed to be.
so from what the wiki says, because I looked it up on the wiki, of course, um, the coins have a different. Think of it like actual currency, right?
Uh-huh.
Certain countries' dollars are more valuable than others. Certain assassins or individuals' coins are worth more. So let's say John Wick wants to trade a coin, he could probably get a couple $1 million. If I brought my coin, I'd probably get $50, right?
Yeah.
So
You $50 in a very sloppy doing job for some guy you don't like.
right, exactly. They would spray paint somebody's house green or something.
I did the deed, sir. Money, please. Yeah, it's I like it's so cool, man. I love this stuff. Like it's again, it's so fast in terms of like again, it's fast world building, and it's like it's good at that, right? It's not cheesy. It's not again, it's cheesy, but it rides that line of being overly cheesy, right?
I don't think so. I will push back. I don't think it's cheesy. I
Really?
think
I think
no, I don't.
this is one of the things that kind of make me fun. Is like, oh, ha, ha, they have like their own secret money, ha, you know, kind of deal. But then like,
I
it's
think
cool. It's cool in the context of this. But it's like to me, it's a little bit like that's like very close to the line for me.
yeah. I think I don't know. I think it worked for me because it was just nondescript gold coins. I think if they used like Monopoly money or if they used like some other affiliated currency or like Bison Bucks or something like that, I think that would have been like if it was Vigo Bucks, I'd have been like, really? That's something like a Jean-Claude Van Damme movie would have, right? You'd
Yeah,
have
that's
Vigo
fair.
Bucks.
Yeah. Where they have their essentially the mobster themselves has their own currency.
Correct.
But
And
no,
that's what they
but
used to pay
because I guess
for it.
I guess because the currency here is somehow regulated within the community. I guess is maybe that's the reason why it
Yeah,
doesn't
it's
doesn't
all
go
agreed
fully
upon
over.
within
Yeah.
the community here.
Yeah, and they do touch upon this in the next movie as well too, or in the upcoming movies. There's a bit more expanded on the currency stuff, and I again, it's a nice touch of world building. You'll get to it when you see it as well too.
That's exciting.
Yeah. Okay. So let's go here. Let's see. Oh yeah, and then one last comment again in the fight scenes. Long cuts. We're gonna see a lot more of them, and again, I don't think people realize how many quick cuts there are to create like a sense of urgency or chaos during action scenes. But like the decision for the directors and the editors to let the sequences play out on screen just amps up the drama in the combat through the roof. Like
Oh
again,
yeah,
like,
agreed.
we'll see more and more of it throughout the movie. Okay, so John goes to the Hotel Continental's manager, Winston, played by Ian McShane. And every time I see him, I'm like, I know this guy's face. You know what I mean? Like I was like, I always forget his name, but I was like, you're in everything. Like I forget your name though. And like now, like I finally remembered Ian McShane. For information on Yosef, basically he finds out that Vigo has Yosef under guard at the Red Circle nightclub. And again, we get a suit up scene from John.
Right.
You know, shit's gonna go down. I'm not the biggest fan of like suit up scenes, but I think because it's John Wick and just from what I've seen so far, he's gonna use everything he puts on him. You know what I mean? Like you see him
I know.
put the knife in the sock. You see him like loading up the guns, and it's like he's gonna use everything. Maybe that's why I wasn't like against the suit up scene. I was like excited, like how's he gonna use that gun? How's he gonna use that knife? How's he gonna murder somebody in this upcoming scene? And yeah,
Why do they always wear suits?
so
You figure you'd want something more comfortable.
something more comfortable, right? Yeah. But it's actually kind of cool because I think I heard about this in like a discussion video. I think from Cinema Wins actually. Now I think about it. So like the reason why for the suit is because like obviously they deal with nightlife stuff, right? So you know a lot of people move around in suits, and also even during the day, especially in New York, people just walk around in suits, right?
That's
If
a good
anything,
point.
it's kind of like the everyday man's attire as sharp as it may look, right, in on screen with all this stuff, right? But like if he goes out into the day just wearing a suit, you're not going to think anything of him or any of the other people within this like criminal underworld. They're just wearing suits. They're just businessmen.
Let me handle my business, damn.
Exactly.
Anyway,
okay. Let's see here.
So he's at the red circle. He suits up.
Heads the red circle. Slight side tangent here. John sneaks up on Francis, right, the big bouncer guy at the bar at the nightclub, and tells him he's lost weight. Francis replies in 20 kilograms in Russian, I believe, and then on screen it was written and translated 60 pounds, but 60 pounds is closer to 28 kilograms. And guess how many people John ends up killing during this scene?
28.
Yeah, I love this little nod to itself. Like I love this shit. It's so good. And
that is really exciting, and I wish I knew that because Tubi didn't have the translation for the Russian.
They didn't have the subtitles that were on the screen. Like
they might have, and I didn't see it.
Okay,
maybe that's...
yeah, because it's in the stylized, really cool John Wick subtitle fonts that flash.
You gotta be kidding me! Hold on, hold on. I'm about to watch this.
Yeah, check this real quick. Yeah, because I'm like, it's in the movie. It's not like a file. No, it's in the movie. Okay, I'm gonna keep reading a little bit here while you're pulling up the movie. Okay. Yeah, so here we go. Into the nightclub. More murdering ensues. Slit throats, stabbing while making eye contact. Very intimate. Neck snapping. Guns. All the good stuff. He even forgets to reload the gun in one scene and watch him drop the magazine, reload, chamber, shoot again. John kills a guy with a fantastic beard, Tate Fletcher. He's a former MMA artist, MMA fighter. He's an actor, stunt artist, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt. Yeah, I was like, I saw that in 2014. I was like, I feel like I've seen this guy somewhere before. Yeah, he was on The Ultimate Fighter. That's why. Yosef gets away, and Wick gets tossed off the balcony by basically like the top bodyguard, I guess. And he retreats back to the Continental for medical treatment. Miss Perkins, who we met with earlier, attempts to sneak into his room and kill him, but Marcus basically warns Wick with a sniper rifle shot warning, right? Because again, he can't kill Wick on the premises of the Continental, but because someone else is trying to, he warns Wick because of it. Wick subdues Perkins and learns of Vigo's front, where he hides his money, and leaves her restrained in the hands of another assassin. John goes to the church, which is Vigo's front, and burns a cache of money and blackmail material. And then John ambushes Vigo when Vigo's trying to go to the church and figure out what the hell's happening. But John ambushes them, but gets beat by getting hit with a truck and gets subdued and captured. And in this little bit here, go ahead. You got something?
Yeah. This is the dumbest. No, so Tubi just doesn't have the subtitles.
Oh, wow.
I don't know what it is.
Even
they just don't have the captions.
Wow. Yeah, that's not, because that's not even like a closed caption thing. They like put this subtitle in the movie.
Right. I don't know. I don't see it. Anytime Russian is spoken, I don't see.
Not always, yeah, but like Vigo's like little thing, his little spiel, like, right? He's talking about the Baba Yaga, like by himself. Like that has like the cool subtitles on it. When he meets Francis, there's the cool subtitles on it.
Yeah, I don't know. It's not there. I did appreciate that though, because it kind of left you feeling like you didn't know what was coming. Like you the only thing you had to go off of was the physical body language of the men speaking, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of appreciated that, because it's like you kind of know what's about to happen, but you don't really know what's going to happen because you don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
And I forget what other movie does that, but I do like that as some sort of a anticipation building, right?
Yeah.
The other thing I will say is that you said subdued Miss Perkins, not seduced Miss Perkins. Very different.
Yes, I said subdued. Just make
yes. No, I know you did.
I talk very fast. I just want to clarify.
You just really like this movie. It's fun.
I love this movie. This movie rules. And a short pause here, but we get to see a bit more of John being human, right? Not in like the stereotypical emotional sense, but like in the fact that he gets tired and can be overwhelmed. Like John goes through an entire club of killing people and trying to chase down Yosef, right? He gets beat at the end of this thing, at the end of this scene, because he's tired, and the head bodyguard guy comes in fresh, basically, right, and just beats him up and throws him off the balcony back onto the dance floor. and you can see him like limping out of the building. It's like, ah, shit. Okay, well, I gotta get back. I gotta like get out of here. Too much of a scene's been caused. Let me clear out for a bit, right? Again, he's not like truly. He's not truly. She gets shot. Like he's wearing a vest,
Oh yeah, he got shot.
but he's still. We see in the next scene when he's getting treated up. Like he's still bleeding. He has to get bullets removed from his body and get stitched up. You know what I mean? Like we see he's not like a superhuman in this movie. We get
Right, and that's good. I do appreciate that because like Sly or Arnold or JC would have just kept fighting through getting shot. Right.
yeah.
John Wick puts it in perspective that you get shot in a bulletproof vest, it still hurts a lot.
Yeah, it still hurts. One of the shots he manages to go like at the lower part of his torso, right? He gets like luckily it's not nothing fatal, but he still has a bullet in him and like a stab wound. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
He still gets fucked up even in his movie, right? Like he's not untouchable, absolutely not. And then he gets hit by an SUV.
Yeah, I think anybody getting hit by a car is going to be on the mend for a little bit.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
this is the dumbest scene in movies, and it's something that happens all the time, and
Yeah.
it's something that happens in cheesy action movies
Yeah.
all the time. The bad guy finally captures the protagonist,
And starts
and they leave him
monologuing.
alive. They leave him alive, chained to a chair. They run their mouths, and then they leave. Instead of just putting two in his head and calling it a day, he leaves him alive.
Well, they're
and
not.
then
Yeah, well, clearly they're not as ruthless as John Wick is, who just does it to his son.
right, exactly. Well,
So yeah, so
maybe they should.
So John has so Vigo has John hostage essentially, but when John demands where Yosef, which is great, John's tied up in a chair. He's in the clearly in the weak position here, right? But he's still demanding, "Where's Yosef? I'm gonna put a bullet in his head while he's tied in the chair." Badass shit. It's like that's cool and all. Like you got me right now. That's cool. I'm still gonna murder your son. Where is he? But before John gets killed, Marcus intervenes and snipes some of the people in the room. Right? John breaks out of his restraints, kills Krill, the guy who threw the higher bodyguard for Vigo, the guy who threw him over the balcony in the club, and gets Vigo to reveal Yosef's safe. Basically, he just tells him like, "Tell me where he is. If not, I'm gonna kill you. I'm gonna find him anyway." Right? Basically.
One quick thing. I'm sorry. Going back to the nightclub scene, the first guard that John Wick encounters is Kevin Nash, one of my favorite all-time pro wrestlers.
Is that Kevin Nash? He did look familiar. I just didn't know where to put my finger on it.
I'm pretty sure that was him.
Is it? Oh shit. Okay, cool. Yeah, there's a lot of cameos in the movie. Like a lot of people who are like professional stuntmen or have done like other stuff like WWE wrestling, pro wrestling stuff, or mixed martial arts stuff.
Yeah,
there's a lot. Like a lot of them are professional stunt actors as well too. You know what I mean? Aside from their other jobs that they do.
He was Francis. So when John Wick comes around the corner and he holds the gun to the face, like, "Hey, Francis, how's it going?"
That is Kevin Nash. You're right. Holy shit.
Yeah, time to go home or whatever.
Yeah, because I said, like, I fucking recognize him. I just didn't know where to put my fucking finger on it. I put it into Google a million ways, like big guy, John Wick, go home. Like, I'm like, it's like, watch John Wick kill this guy. I'm like, that's not what I'm looking for.
I mean, yes, I'm gonna watch it anyway.
Yes, I'm gonna watch it, but like, not
that's not what I'm here for.
Yeah, I'm telling you, man, the cameos get wilder and wilder too as the series goes on. Please, like, I'm not gonna tell you like anything else here because I want you to see the cameos, and I'm just waiting for like the excited text or like the Discord message or whatever, just from you, like, "Oh my god, I see that he's in this movie." I'm like, "Yeah, let's go."
I have a funny feeling Jean-Claude Van Damme's going to be in one of these movies because they keep bringing him up.
I hope he shows up in the later stuff. I really do. I want him to go all out with like the ridiculousness of it.
Do like the Expendables, right? Where they just put the band together.
In. Because again, like, I don't care if the story's ridiculous, right? It already is. We already know that.
That's the point.
But as long as the action is realistic, I don't care. Do anything else you want with the rest of the story. I don't care. Let's see. Oh yeah, so he goes to Brooklyn to the safe house, right, to kill Yosef. Kills bodyguards, and then a moment of sweet vengeance. You mentioned it before. Kills Yosef like an animal. Yosef's not trying to plead for his life. Can't even properly get his last words. Bang bang. Get out of here. Just walks away. No glory at all to fucking Yosef. He just dies like a piece of shit in the fucking warehouse. I love it. Oh,
see,
so good.
I don't know. It might just be the difference in personality, but I would have let that motherfucker have it for a little bit before I before I took him out. Called the dad maybe and just let
Had
him
on the
listen.
phone,
And,
yeah.
yeah, just be really twisted about it and be really evil. But I guess that's why I'm not a member of the criminal underworld.
Yeah, I mean, like, again, John is just all business, right? He just goes there, he's like, bang, bang, cool, done. Again, I'm out of here now. Like, he's very just like, this is work, and I'm out of here. So after killing Yosef, we go to a scene where Marcus is taken in after Perkins informs Vigo of Marcus's involvement and of saving John from the warehouse, right? So Marcus is taken into his home, beaten, tortured, and eventually killed, right? And Vigo calls John to report on this, planning to have Perkins ambush him. And then while waiting for John, Perkins is summoned to a meeting with Winston and the the workers of the Continental, right? The higher ups, basically. And then basically she gets executed for breaking the Continental's rules. And I love this scene. Like, it's very short. It's a very short scene in the middle of this like very fast paced kind of breakneck speed section of like exposition and winding down the movie, right? Because we got to see the big part of the movie. John killed Yosef. That was this whole thing for this movie. We got to see this already. And then they're still adding stuff into
There's still 30
building.
minutes left in the movie, though.
Yeah. And so we see,
and
like,
I do have something to say about Perkins, but I'll save it until after we talk about the next scene.
Okay, cool, gotcha.
Because they kind of my question kind of like pertains to both situations.
Okay, cool. Okay, we'll keep it in mind then. Okay. So yeah, she's executed for breaking the Continental rules. Some dudes come out from behind pillars, bang, like just shoot
that
her
was
down.
a smooth scene.
I
that was
love
like
that scene.
You know what it reminded me of, and it should not remind me of this because they're nothing alike. But it's when Jiraiya goes to the hidden mist village, and he goes to fight Pain, and then all of the Pains jump out and stab him with the chakra sticks at the same time. That was kind of what that reminded me of. Like, they just smooth come out from the pillars, bang at the same time. All 4 shots basically hit her at the same time. She falls,
and they
leave.
They just disappear back.
And then dinner reservations are made.
It's so good. I love this shit, man. And again, you kind of see it a little bit in this movie, and they do a little bit more of it, of like this like cool like assassins showing up out of nowhere kind of deal, doing their business, and then disappearing back into the shadows again. The general public. It's so good. I love this stuff. So Winston calls John to inform him that Vigo is planning to escape by helicopter, right? John races to New York.
But not in so many words, because remember, there's a code. So all he says is there's a certain helicopter being prepared for a certain person to leave. And I thought that was, again, another thing where you don't break the code.
Yeah, because even in the hotel, right? In the hotel, the first time he talks to Winston, he I'm not going to tell you exactly where he is. You know what I mean? Like, you know that there's rules here. I can't do this.
Right, and then he leaves him the note on the drink.
Yeah, exactly.
As to which club he's at.
Yeah, so they do this.
So he didn't tell him.
They didn't technically didn't tell him. Yeah, exactly. Didn't break any of the rules.
There was just a note on there that said
that
red
coincidentally happened to have a red circle. What's it?
Red circle, not red bubble. They're not selling T-shirts. Sorry.
Imagine red bubbles is just a front for a criminal underworld.
Front for the fucking mob. All right, add it to the canon.
There you go.
Add it to the lore.
So he is again casually has a conversation with John about where Vigo is basically planning to escape. Right, John races over to New York Harbor, where he kills Vigo's remaining henchmen. Mayhem finally gets a gun. Right, he's been asking for a gun for so long in this movie. Finally gets it. He gets off a shot and then gets murdered. That's all we get from Mayhem.
You know what? I'm gonna push back on that too. I'm going to hold on. We skipped a big scene in the movie where Marcus is walking in the street by himself and he gets taken by Vigo's group, right? Or did that happen yet?
Oh yeah, I already said it. Like he was taken in after Perkins informs Vigo Marcus's involvement.
Yeah, okay.
Tortured and killed. Vigo Vigo calls John to report on this basically.
Yeah, okay.
And then
so
that's what leads to Perkins trying to ambush John, basically under Vigo's command.
That's right. Okay, sorry. If you're involved in all of this, why are you walking around alone? And like, did she know that she was gonna get executed? What's her face?
So, you're talking about Perkins
Miss
specifically.
Perkins, right?
Okay, so
Right.
I think
So people travel. Basically, the gist is people traveling to places alone and maybe kind of accepting their fate or not. I don't really know, but like Miss Perkins kind of got it right because she broke the code, so they were going to find her eventually, whether she showed up or not, I guess. But Marcus needs to be a little smarter than that, doesn't he?
yeah, so I think for Marcus, I think it's because he's kind of like he's the mentor to John Wick, right? He's the guy who created the boogeyman. I think maybe that's why like he wasn't expecting to get like jumped for it. People have this maybe fear or respect on his name because of it. I don't know. Yeah, that's one of the. Yeah, I can kind of see where that feels a little bit kind of
I
sloppy.
mean, and granted, again, like in most films, common sense and stuff is thrown out the window. But like,
Yeah,
I just kind of was like, this is a smart, calculated guy. Why is he walking around in the middle of the night by himself?
yeah. No, I get you. I
And
get you.
and I again, like I imagine with the whole Miss Perkins
Well,
scenario
for
too,
Perkins, so when John subdued Perkins, right? She committed
broke the rules, right?
to conducting business on the premises of the Continental, right? When John handed her off to another assassin, right? The guy who comes in like checking if there's a security issue, right? He's also an
Yeah,
assassin. He's also an assassin because he goes like, "Hey, John," like he clearly recognizes him, right? He's at a catch and release, right? Just like okay, when she wakes up, just let her go, whatever. John like held nothing to it. Like he was like, "Yeah, whatever, just let her go. I understand there's rules, but don't just let her go."
right.
And technically, she would have gotten away with it because she did kill that guy. Technically, there are no more witnesses for her to get away with. But again, of course, they're the Continental. They're criminal underground. They have ways of finding out information, right? So basically, they found out. I think initially because she killed that guy who was supposed to let her go. I think she thought everyone who knows of my trying to kill somebody on the premises is gone. Maybe that's why she was so like
Right.
casual about it. That's my
Not like a hotel would have cameras.
yeah, that's fair. That's fair, but it's also like, there's clearly just like, okay, there's a fight happening in the room above me, right? They should know they're not supposed to be doing that, but it's like maybe she kind of sneak her way in and sneak her way out. You know what I mean? Maybe that's one of those things kind of deal. I think
It could
she
also be there's a lot of hubris. Oh, they'll never find me.
yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like I think she's like, "Oh, I killed the guy, the only other witness aside from John Wick to knowing that I'm the one who tried to kill him here." And then I was like, "Okay, I'm good to go. But I'm going to sneak my way out of here. I'm good to go." I think that's what it is. I think she was just her thinking, "I'm going to get away with this." And again,
Got it. Okay.
she was willing to do so because 4 mil.
Yeah, that's true.
The bounty was doubled for anybody willing to break the rules.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Oh, and one other thing, speaking of more common sense, John, prior to getting into the car for the safe room, right? And he confronts Vigo and he has the giant gun,
The sniper
like
rifle. Yeah.
giant what is it?
The sniper rifle he has outside.
No.
You mean the scene before when he ambushed Vigo, right?
Right, and he has like that giant gun that's in his hands, right?
Yeah.
Why didn't he just kill Vigo right there?
Because
I don't.
he's not after Vigo. He's only after Yosef.
Yeah, but you have to know that when you kill somebody's son, they're gonna come back after you. Like you might as well just get two birds with one stone. But again, this is pragmatism in
Yeah,
a fictional movie realm. Like I
yeah,
shouldn't just shut up and enjoy the ride. Okay, so John is headed to the helipad.
yeah. So John heads to New York Harbor where he kills the Vigo's remaining men. Again, kills Mayhem, Rip Mayhem.
Yeah,
Before battling
who you
Vigo.
don't actually see die. He just gets hit by the car and just kind of falls over. So I
Yeah,
feel like he's coming back.
yeah, like it's never not. That's like one of the few that's like very not like clear. Did he double tap him? Did he run him over the car afterwards? Kind of deal. Like nothing. No. It's like he's
Yeah, this whole scene with the car is funny as hell, though.
yeah.
Like him
I
just
love that
driving
shit.
this car around.
Yeah.
The car, by the way, that the Continental gives him because of the issue in the place last night. So it
Yes.
pays to, that's why you sign up for those hotel perks, right?
Yeah, exactly. if only I was just allowed to rent a sweet muscle car every time I was slightly inconvenienced at a hotel.
Yeah, Jesus Christ, I'd have a whole garage.
Yeah, exactly. It'd be golden. So let's see. So basically they had the final boss battle because again, Vigo wasn't initially his target. And Vigo basically goes, "You killed my son. I have to retaliate." You know, it's kind of this like cheesy honor among thieves, right? That's basically what this is. It's like, you're after my son. I don't want to give him up, but if you're gonna do your job, I have to come after you. That's basically what this kind of is. I think that's kind of my experience, like my understanding of like that's why I let it slide. You know what I mean? It's all strictly business.
Oh no, I get it. I understand. I guess in the confines of the film.
Yeah, but logically, it's like, no, just get rid of both of them because you know he's gonna come
just
after you.
Get rid of all of them because it's gonna be your problem in the future.
Yeah. So he basically has this final Metal Gear Solid, you know, on top of the Metal Gear Rex boss battle with Vigo and the heart. Right?
You're not wrong. I mean, that's
exactly what it is. Why are you gonna try to fight John Wick? You're older than him. John just murdered everybody. I'm not fighting this dude. I'm leaving. Or I'm just gonna let John do his thing. I'm not fighting this dude. Clearly, I'm not gonna win.
Well, I mean, I'd rather have to fight him hand to hand than let him use a gun that he's clearly, obviously...
Which he did say, he's like, yeah, no more guns, John, no more bullets. Let's do this like men. And it's like, yeah, sure, totally, because that's totally going to work for you too, bro.
Well, it's not going to work either way, so you might as well at least give yourself a modicum of a chance, right?
And even then, guess what? He pulls out a knife.
Cheater.
He cheats anyway. It was in one of the most badass scenes ever. I love this scene. John allows himself to be stabbed.
I thought that was pretty slick.
To pull Vigo's arm closer in and snap it across his own abs. And then disarms him and then stabs Vigo, leaving him to die. And then he says this one thing that I really, really like, because you hear it all throughout the movie, and I tried to make sure not to mention it because it's very similar to the thing where people hear about John, right? It's the after Vigo basically right before Vigo fully dies, he goes, "I'll be seeing you, John."
Yeah.
And like you hear this throughout the movie. It's like clearly it's like a, "Hey John, I'll be seeing you, take care," kind of deal. Partially that, and then also like, "Well, you put me down, I'll be seeing you, John." It's like a sign of respect kind of deal, right? It's so like I love that so much. I was like, yeah, Vigo's dead. Good for you. You little big piece of shit. But also, nice little going away line for you. Love it.
Right. He also kind of probably figured that John was gonna. Maybe he figured that John was gonna die, and he'd see him in wherever they're going.
Yeah, maybe the afterlife. Yeah, maybe he assumed he was gonna die. Because again, like, so now
he stabbed him in the stomach.
And now we're moving into where the movie kind of cold started. Right. We see John lying down in the gutter, watching, holding onto his own guts, bleeding. Watching the video of him and Helen on his phone, right? And so now instead of seeing John die and bleed out like we thought he was gonna be doing, right? Because again, that's what the beginning of the movie tried to kind of like imply, right? Like that he's kind of dying at the scene. We see him get up and break into an animal clinic, treat his wounds, and then he releases a pit bull puppy scheduled to be euthanized the next day. And then John and the dog walk home along the boardwalk where he had his final date with Helen. End movie.
Was that like explicitly stated that the dog was going to get put down? Like,
so if you pause it, you can see it was like to be euthanized is like stamped on the books of the thing.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Okay. Yeah, there's like a clipboard next to the kennel.
Right.
And
okay.
Yeah, you see it there, and I was like, let's go. Also, Pitbull, let's go.
I know.
I love Pitbulls.
I know. I was happy about that. That was cute.
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah, perfect ending. Like perfect crescendo ending. He gets the guy. He avenges his family basically, and he has the happy ending that he wanted. He's going to be able to grieve.
Yeah, the closest thing he can possibly ever have to a happy ending in his circumstances. Yeah, again, just the fact that he takes the dog and walks the boardwalk where he had the date with Helen. I was like, oh, that's fantastic. That's so good. That's just a nice little way to end this movie. And now he's a doggo again. It's awesome.
I know. Now he has a dog, so that's good.
Yeah. So, any highlights you want to pick out? I want to I got a couple here I can just rattle off, just like things I love about this movie. As much as you can clearly tell, I love this movie.
I was gonna say like everything.
Everything.
Like everything was awesome.
Keanu kicks ass in this fucking movie, dude.
Everything except for like the dialogue between characters. Some of the cheesy dialogue.
Yeah. Like, okay, so like, I don't know if you've watched any other stuff outside of just the movie so far, and you said you looked up a couple things in the wiki, right? But I've watched like some of the videos Keanu did of training leading up to this movie, And it's like, yo, Keanu rips ass in these fucking training videos, right? He goes to Terran Tactical and learns how to shoot there. You know, how to do all the reloads and all the cool shit that he does, right? I watched a video of him learning how to do jujitsu because Keanu's like a longtime practitioner of martial arts, right? But like, from my understanding, I don't think he was a big jujitsu guy until recently.
Not many people were.
And
Anyway,
like,
so.
he was watching him training, right? Like, with black belts to do all the disarms and the takedowns and shit. Like, it's so cool. Keanu does basically a majority of his stunts in this movie. And
That's
like
awesome.
a majority of the action work, right? The reloading, because again, you also see him. They're long shots. His face is in them the whole time. Like he's the one who does all the reloads. He does all the hand to hand combat stunts and stuff like that. Like it's great. I love the fact that he does everything. All the action work in this movie. There was a bit with Mayhem, not understanding Russian and needing whatever Vigo just said repeated or translated.
Vigo English.
Vigo English, please. It's just like it's a small bit, but I really found it funny even on my first time watching it. And I don't know why. It's just nice to just see. It was like it's a nice little break from how serious the movie wants to take itself all the time. You know what I mean? It's just like it's enough humor to not take me completely out of the movie. You know what I mean?
As a guy who works with Eastern European people, I really appreciated that because I run into that all the time where it's like they'll start just speaking Russian and I'm like, guys, English, please.
The repeated O. Again, I've mentioned this a million times before, right? The repeated O when people talk about John. Just like again, you just see it on their face. Just like there's like a slight bit of like dread, like shit. Fuck, John? Really? John Wick? Like we're talking about the same John,
it's like,
right?
Shit, come on, like really shit.
Shit. Fuck. Okay. Well, I might as well basically plan how I want to die. You know what I mean? Again, and this leads into I'll be seeing you, John. Right? We hear him a bunch of times, right? Did you do a kill count for this movie? How many people were killed by John? I did not
do the kill count.
77.
There you go.
I thought it would be way more, just because again how much action was in this movie. The first time I watched it, right? I always assumed he killed like 150 people, but like 77. That's solid. You know, especially for an hour and a half movie. The pacing is good. So like, yeah, it makes like 77 people is pretty good. The last thing I want to talk about is the color palette. So we talked about the cinematography being fantastic, right? Because it has a bit of that 80s cheesy action movie vibe to it, but with the modern sensibilities of a movie, right?
Oh yeah.
A really cool thing that I really appreciated here, and I got this. I noticed it myself, but then like a person to explain it was Cinema Wins, and then he referenced another video that he watched to really understand the composition of the shots here. But the color palette, right? So John gets blues and greens when he's winning. Vigo and his men gets red and yellows. So an example is when John kills Vigo's men in the bathhouse, right? They move out of their red light into John's blue light. And then when John struggles fighting certain people, he enters their red light. And when he gets shot, red and blue mix into a purple light. And then all of the things signifying his life away from the underworld are bathed in a golden hue. So all the memories of him and Helen, like the flashback scenes, the scenes at home with him and Daisy, right? Because you can see like when the first day he's grieving, right? Everything's kind of gray. He's clearly depressed because his wife has just passed, right? And then he gets the dog, and then he kind of goes on and do stuff. Even the scene when he's drifting his car out in the shipyard, right, is like has a golden glow to it. So his life away from the underworld, you know, his life with him chilling with Daisy, all this other stuff, has like a nice golden tint to all those scenes. Very cool. Like again, I'm sure there's a lot more other cool movie stuff here that I'm clearly not picking up on, but like again, like just a cinematography, like that's one of those cool things I noticed on my first watch, and I was like, oh, that's really really nice, and I was like interested enough on my end to go further and look up to see why is this thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I didn't even think to put like the emotions with the colors. I just thought they had a lot of cool different lights stuff, right? And it looked awesome.
Yeah, I mean, even in the club scene when Yosef's running out of the bathhouse from the basement of it, right? He's running through the crowd and the camera's really shaky on him. And then the next cut we see is the camera just locked on John Wick as he's walking down the steps. You know what I mean? Like he is committed and focused while Yosef is just like panicking and like shaking and like terrified basically, and like
Goes back to what his father said about him.
yeah, exactly. So it's like, and even just in that, in the cinematography, so much is told just by having like just a following shot of just John Wick walking down the steps onto the dance floor. Like all that's is really really cool stuff, man. I love the way that they design stuff in this movie.
It
And
was really stellar. It really is. It really deserves all of the praise that it's gotten for sure.
I mean, like it did well, right? Like
It made its money back and
it made
some.
its money back in some, but the thing is, like it's weird because I feel like this movie I thought would have blown up more and more. But I think that happened more in 2 and 3 because like there was more stuff around 2 and 3, and especially because of the success of John Wick 1. So I think 2 and 3 like blew up in terms of like their box office gross. But like yeah, I mean, because again, like for like a straight up action movie, which I don't think around that time. I mean, like I'm sure it's 2014. I don't remember. I don't remember exactly, right? But I don't think I remember any other major like action movies in 2014. Like this is the one that like stuck with me.
I couldn't tell you, but it could just be again because there's so much other stuff released. Maybe I don't know what came out in 2014, and as far as cinema is concerned, but I figure what we're knee deep in Marvel stuff. We're knee deep in. I'm sure there was a Fast and the Furious movie at that
Let's
point, right?
let's see action movies in
Let's look.
2014. Divergent, no idea. Transformers: Age of Extinction, yeah, no, I didn't watch that.
That's not gonna
Guardians of the
draw away.
Galaxy. Oh, okay, I lied.
Okay.
Okay, so Guardians of the Galaxy was really good. I enjoyed that movie. Amazing Spider-Man 2, missed it. Did not watch that until actually like a year ago.
Mm-hmm.
X-Men: Days of Future Past. I've heard that one's very good. I still haven't seen it. Winter Soldier. Oh yeah, never mind. Yeah, there's some good action.
Yeah, I was gonna
movies this
say
year.
like we were knee deep into Marvel
Marvel,
stuff. I
yeah,
feel
yeah.
like that's kind of why.
Oh, Legend of Hercules. I watched that one. That one's bad.
Yeah, with the one with the Rock,
That was
or is that the other guy?
Kellen Lutz. I think it was like I think that was
Yeah.
Gaia Weiss. Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. That was a good movie. Expendables 3 was the same year.
Yeah, see, so that's kind of why. So you have a ton of stuff that dropped the same year,
RoboCop.
but then word of mouth spreads quickly, and then it's one of the prominent action movies of all time.
Oh, 22 Jump Street was also this year. That was pretty good. Oh, it was oh yeah. So there was a Legend of Hercules, and then there's also Hercules with the Rock.
In the same year?
I think so, from what it looks like here. Yeah.
Oh my god, no wonder they both sucked.
Yeah, not great. Not great. Edge of Tomorrow was pretty good. That was that year as well.
Yeah, no, that's definitely what happened here. So
Yeah, there's a lot of action movies came out that year, and because then I don't think there was like as much marketing around John Wick. Like, I genuinely don't recall it. I remember a couple of this. I remember in 2 and 3, I definitely saw more advertising for it. But for 1, I don't remember as much because again we were knee deep in Marvel at that point. Michael Bay still doing Michael Bay things. There was X-Men: Days of Future Past is a wrap up, right? It's like a collection story for a lot of people. Winter Soldier came out. Yeah, that's a big year. It's a big year for movies, for action movies that year.
okay, so around the time that John Wick dropped, you had
Let's see the closest movies around to the same release date.
you had nothing of of real
Sticking power.
Yeah, I mean, like the only thing that I can see here is like you had Birdman and Whiplash come out, which were both highly touted movies. So maybe that had something to do with it because you're
Birdman's
going to see
very artsy. Yeah, and Whiplash is
right. You're going to, and Gone Girl as well. So you're going to see these highly critically acclaimed movies. You're not really going to watch.
I mean, Whiplash is fine.
Yeah,
I have my own reservations about Whiplash, but that's a little bit different, I guess, for me.
No, I know. I'm just saying, like, critics loved it.
Yeah, critics loved it.
And then you had the month after you had Hunger Games.
Mockingjay, right? That was that year.
Yeah, and then you had.
Is that the wrap up?
Oh,
I think that was the last movie of that series, right?
Mockingjay Part 1. Yeah, so this is the first part.
Gotcha.
And of course, I'm sure Interstellar and Big Hero 6 took money away from it. And okay, so American Sniper doesn't come out until later that year, but that was also one that was kind of shoved down everyone's throats, and I mean, I guess rightfully so.
Yeah, again,
But yeah, so you had a busy year beforehand. Oh, this is when Godzilla came out, the
the
remake
remake, right?
from
Yeah,
the
with
Warner Brothers legendary one.
yeah,
So you had a lot. This was a busy year, it looks like, right? So that could have been the reason why Wick kind of flew under the radar at first. I don't think it's flown under the radar anymore.
no,
So I don't think you have to worry about that. But I'm just saying, like that could have been the reason why it
yeah,
kind of
yeah,
did the way.
I can see that now. And like again, because again, like again, I think I don't remember a lot of marketing for this movie.
Right.
Obviously, as the series kept getting bigger and bigger, I saw more and more marketing, and especially now,
Right.
I'm starting to see more and more trailers of John Wick 4 coming out. On YouTube and stuff, right? And people are like reacting to it and stuff like that. And again, 4 comes out in 2023, March next year.
Right.
So like it's not long. I'm so excited for 4 to come out. And this is probably one of those movies that I'm probably gonna do the whole like I'm gonna watch the whole series before the next movie comes out kind of deal.
Right.
So like when 2 came out, I watched John Wick first, and then I went to the theater like literally like an hour later to go watch John Wick 2. And then when 3 came out, I watched 1 and 2. Went to went to an hour later went to see John Wick 3.
Yeah. Okay. So I think you're right on marketing and budget. So like the first film was 20 to 30 mil. This is all according to Wikipedia.
Yeah,
Budget of 20 to 30 mil. It made 80 million at the box office, right?
yeah,
The second one had a budget of 40 million, made 171.5 million dollars at the box office, right?
yeah.
Third one, higher budget, $75 million, box office, $327 million.
See what I mean? The explosion of like when they actually started advertising John Wick, and then like just again, this is the continuous. I think just quality, right? It's a quality action movie.
Right.
Like we don't get. I feel like we don't get as much of these anymore nowadays. It's kind of brain off, right? A little bit, right? Because it's just we watch John Wick just go on a fucking tear, right?
Correct.
But it's also like it still has some really smart world building, right?
It does.
The action's realistic ish, right? I mean, like we can talk about it later on when we get to 2 and 3. But like like the fact that he like the gun scenes where he has to reload, and like the hand to hand combat is like pretty is like him actually doing proper takedowns on people and stuff like that, and like him defending himself against like other people with knives and just like trying to just kick him and strike him down and stuff like that, right? You could see like it's real work being done by Keanu and the other stunt actors, and because it's like long shots, so we don't get taken away from it. We're like literally watching them do the choreography straight up, and yeah, like and just it being a quality product just brings more and more people to watch these movies as the series goes on. Like I think this is supposed to be a one and done movie. I think it was.
It seems like it, right? Because all of his friends die. The big bad dies. Everybody but him, basically. Well, everybody dies, and he's. Oh no, he gets up and walks away. But you see him with the happy ending, so it kind of makes it seem like that was it. There's an air of finality to it, and maybe you're right. Maybe this was supposed to be a one-off. It definitely feels like it, and then it was like, oh no, this was too successful to do just one, so we have to do more.
And to be fair, because there are a lot of like open questions left, in terms of like what the criminal underworld is allowed to do, right? It really did a good job of leaving that door open, right? It allows them to be like, okay, well, we can open this back up and do some more stuff and expand upon it if you want, and they did, and that's why I love 2 and 3 as well. It's one of those things where it's like, as much as I try to take my own bias out of it, I think the movies just get better and better as they go overall. Like, a lot of people say like 1 is usually like the latest one's the best one, right? And then like the first one is like the second favorite, and then like the middle movie is like the meh one, right? For me, I like genuinely like my like love for this series grows and grows for every movie.
Yeah, I mean, for it kind of gets like that, right? Where the second one sometimes is the darling, sometimes the first one's the darling, sometimes the third one is, sometimes the fourth one when he fights the big guy from Russia and he beats him and saves the world. Sometimes that's the best one by far.
Jeff, Rocky 4 is the worst of the Rocky movie. Not the worst. It's not as good of a Rocky movie as you think.
We're gonna have to talk about this. We're just gonna have to hammer this out one of these days.
We know 5 is bad. We that's fine. We
Five is bad.
We all understand that. But 4 is not as good as you think it is.
4 is better than you think it is.
I'm sure that there's probably a middle ground here, but like you need to hop off Ford's dick. So
Nope, never in my life. Best soundtrack, maybe the best soundtrack, but definitely the most fuck yeah America of the movies.
man, I don't, bro. Rocky 1's training montage is so much better. Like I don't care what anyone
I'm
says.
not gonna deny that the movie that won an Oscar is better in certain things than a movie that didn't. But I'm just saying. Look, we've already kept people far enough. Is there any other things you want to talk about John Wick before we go on a tangent about Rocky?
No, I think again I covered most basically everything that I wanted to talk about. Any highlights you wanted to talk about, but that I haven't already hit upon?
I gotta tell you, no, not really. Everything the high points are a lot of what you talked about, but I think honestly this movie was basically just an hour and 40-minute long high point. I think it was perfectly paced. I think it was super well done. I'm thrilled with this. I can't wait to watch the other two movies. I can't wait to go watch the fourth one in theaters and go geek out for this movie in a way that films are supposed to be enjoyed. I'm super excited.
Word.
And I'm thankful for this because this was a lot of fun.
Yeah, man. I'm happy you finally get to watch this movie. Again, it's been out for a while now. It's been out in 2014. And I'm surprised you haven't like actually, sat down and watched it. So
I know. Well, you know how it is, man.
Yeah,
like you look and it's like, do
life
I
gets
really want to
busy.
dedicate an hour and whatever plus? I have so many other things I have to do.
And
Do I
now
really
you
wanna sit
realize,
down and watch it?
yes, you want to watch everything
Yeah.
John Wick is involved in. I do have physical copies of this movie. I'll let you borrow it so that way you can get
Yeah.
you can get everything with the proper subtitles and stuff like that too.
Got it.
I got you. Yeah, because for some reason, yeah, even the on-screen in movie subtitles are not showing up on Tubi for some reason. That's weird.
That was really weird. Yeah,
Yeah.
and that kind of sucks. But
Yeah, that sucks. Okay.
like I said, I think it did add an element to it that maybe wasn't supposed to be there, but it turned out to be a positive. But all in all, I mean, just stellar film. I would probably put it, 4.55. I don't know why I would only give it 4.5 stars. I don't know what I would knock a star off for, but just to say that it's not a 5-star film, but it's basically a 5-star film. It's awesome, and I really want to see how they expand upon this and how the other ones are even better.
Yeah, for me for the next episodes, we'll just when Jeff finally watches these the other two, we're just gonna talk about the movie. Like kind of, I'll do like a short summary. We just talk about it. No first half. We'll just talk about the movie. About how great it is. But yeah, more people into the cult of Keanu. Let's go. Let's go.
For sure.
Cool. So thank you very much, listener. Thank you for putting up with us for this this slightly longer than average episode. If you haven't watched John Wick and you aren't tired of what it sounds like the movie is from us basically just reading the entire plot summary out to y'all, go watch the movie. Please go watch the movie. I love this movie.
Go watch it anyway.
Yeah, watch it anyway. Even if you didn't like it, just watch it.
You're gonna change your mind and like.
There's gotta be something you're gonna enjoy out of this movie either way.
I guarantee you, by the 30-minute mark, you're gonna change your mind because like that first scene was everything.
It's great. I love this movie. So thanks for tuning in for this episode. Go ahead and leave us a like or a review on whatever respective audio streaming platform you're on. Again, reminder, we are on all the major streaming ones: Apple, Amazon, Google, Spotify. We had our first YouTube video go up recently as well too. Our first gameplay video.
So you can find us at Party XP Pod on YouTube. You can just type it in. It's a video of us playing Spelunky. And hopefully we're going to have a few more videos here over the coming weeks and months, and maybe even some solo videos here, some let's plays, fun stuff like that, interviews, whatever else we can come up with.
Yeah. So thanks again for tuning in, listeners. We'll see you next time.
See ya.
What's up?
You're having a morning.
Yeah. Well, I ran back from downstairs and then my parents are like, "Oh, here's some cake," and I'm like, "Oh yeah, cake."
Hell yeah.
I was like, "I just woke up. I can't eat cake right now. I'm gonna fucking shit my.
Can't.
It's gonna be sugar. I'm gonna shit my brains out later."
Small price to pay
For cake.